Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and on today's video I'm doing a stadium tour of this place behind me, the London Stadium. So guys, this stadium behind me, for those of you who don't know, was originally built for the 2012 Olympics. I believe they broke ground, I think, in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. And this stadium here is the home of the 2012 Olympic Games. Since the Games have been finished, West Ham United have moved in here. They moved from their old home, Upton Park, which I'm going to visit later. As normal, before we start going inside, let's have a look at outside and see what's around here, because it's quite interesting, because it's not often that you get a Premier League stadium in the middle of like an Olympic park or close to shopping mall, things like that. Let's have a little walk around and see what's around. The coolest thing that you see outside the stadium is this statue behind me of Sir Geoff Hurst, Bobby Moore and Martin Peters. This is when West Ham won the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1965 against 1860 Munich. So this was West Ham's first official European honour. They've since won the Conference League, but this is a cool tribute to that day, which they won 2-0. I think both goals were by a guy called Seeley, if I'm not mistaken. So as you can see there, West Ham United is European champions. Martin Peters, Bobby Moore and Geoff Hurst. They won 2-0 on the 19th of May 1965, and Seeley scored in the 70th and 72nd minute. And you can see there the West Ham squad from that day. You can see the attendance at Wembley, almost 98,000 people. Bobby Moore was the captain and Ron Greenwood was the manager. And here you've got a photo of the team on the day in full colour. So as you can see, you've got all the players there in their classic West Ham kit. As you can see, you've got the trophy there in the middle. And on the right hand side here, you've got a cool message. Remember the glory from the Academy of Football to Champions of Europe, where our players became giants of the game and changed it forever. Wearing our famous claret and blue, wear the greatness. Then on the floor, guys, you've got these panels that are tributes to various fans. So you've got Bobby Moore's panel there. And then on the floor, you can see tributes to various fans. So one called Gordon Mason, one called Johnny McKay, one called Kevin C. Wade. And you can see this goes all the way across the floor, as you can see. And it's good that West Ham have paid tribute to their fans over the decades. So guys, as you walk around, you can just see outside the stadium, you've got tributes to various West Ham fans. As you can see, you've got West Ham fans there from all over the world. I can see Belfast, Algeria, and so on and so forth. And then here on this wall, you've got some of West Ham's honours. So you've got the FA Cup in 1964. You've got the Cup Winners' Cup in 65, you've got the Football League World Cup in 1940, then here you've got the FA Cup in 1975, FA Cup in 1980, and then most recently the UEFA Conference League in 2023, which they won in Prague. You've got Loaded Greek, so obviously that sells Greek food, and then here you've got somewhere to buy a traditional British fish and chips. And just like any club, you've got the club shop here. It's quite odd because most club shops are inside the stadium, but here at London Stadium, I'm guessing due to West Ham not owning the stadium, the club shop is actually on the outside. The club shop and the ticket office is in this building behind me here, but normally the club shop is actually on the inside of the stadium. But I'm not allowed to record in there, but that is the club shop behind me. So guys, as you can see behind me, you've got a full-size pitch view of the stadium. And I was told that West Ham pay roughly, I think, about £3 million a year to rent this stadium. I think that includes, 19 Premier League home games and some cup games as well. But the stadium itself is obviously originally built for athletics, but it transforms in the summer. So throughout, obviously, the season, it's for football. And then in the summer, they have concerts here, baseball, you name it, so on and so forth. So interestingly enough, the stands are actually named after the stands that were at the bowling ground. So you've got the Bobby Moore stand, which is on that side over there. Then on the other side, you've got the Trevor Brookins stand, and you've also got the Billy Bond stand as well. So all three gentlemen are all legends of the football club. So the capacity is about 62,000, I believe. I think this is the third biggest stadium in the league behind United and Spurs. But the stadium is obviously very modern, and so on and so forth. So over there in front of me, where you can see essentially is where the away fans will sit. So the away fans will sit there in the Trevor Brooking stand, and the rest of the stadium pretty much will be for obviously West Ham fans themselves. So the stadium has two big screens. So one screen there, and then at the other end of the stadium, you've got another screen there as well, basically. Now, both of these screens are the size of a London double-decker bus. So in this section here behind me, this is known as the VIP section. So this is where the West Ham directors and people on the board will sit. So you have Karen Brady, you have David Sullivan, and also as well you have whoever is from the delegation of the visiting team. So if it's Manchester United, you have Sir Alex Ferguson. If it's Ipswich, you have Ed Sheeran. If it's Man City, you probably have, I don't know, Kaloun Al-Mubarak, and so on and so forth. But that is the VIP section there, and you cannot actually buy tickets in this section. Something that's quite something out of the blue that you see in the stadium. You've got this massive open area here, as you can see. So as you come out of the concourse area onto the stands, this is a massive open area, and I was told that's for something to do with the athletics, basically. But you've got a disabled section here in front of you right there, and then you've got the lower tier there. But yeah, pretty much that's a full panoramic view of this stadium. Let me know your views, guys. Let me know your opinion, because this is not as bad as I thought it would be in terms of views. Obviously, I don't come here week in, week out like other fans, but the stadium itself, in my opinion, is not as bad as people make it out to be. But obviously, I'm not a season ticket holder. So here on this wall, you can see all the 204 nations that participated in the 2012 games. And this wall here is a tribute to all 204 countries that took part in the games. And this wall is dedicated to West Ham's victories in the FA Cup, the last English team to win it with all English players, the Cup Winners' Cup, and another FA Cup against Arsenal. And as you walk around, just a lovely hospitality section. So guys, as we're in the 2012 Olympic Stadium, I'm going to show you something really, really cool from the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Something that I'm probably never going to do on any other tour. I'm going to show you this very, very shortly. Who can guess what it's going to be? An official Olympic 2012 medal right here, basically. So here you've got a bit of history about the 2012 Games. You've got Mo Farah there, and it talks about the Olympic Park itself. So it's more than just a sports park. You've actually got bars here, and you could talk about the construction as well. So as you can see, 2,500 new jobs, so on and so forth. You've got like a mascot. This is Wenlock, I think one of the mascots. Then it talks about the actual Olympic Park, the housing, and the whole legacy as well, pretty much. And yeah, as you can see, you've got theatres, and so on and so forth. So yeah, the stadium was only one part of the Olympic legacy. So there was a whole Olympic legacy project in which the stadium and the games had to have a long-lasting effect on the local community. And that included housing, amenities, sporting activities, and so on and so forth. So behind me is where the players will enter the stadium. So I was told West Ham enter on the left-hand side, or on the right-hand side, I believe, and the away team enter on the left-hand side. So they'll come through here and enter the stadium through here. So here you've got an iconic wall of West Ham. So you've got Sir Trevor Brooking here, after winning the FA Cup in 1980 against Arsenal, a legend. And here you've got, I believe that's Billy Bonds, lifting the FA Cup after they beat Preston. You can see Billy there. And here at the end, you've got the legend himself, Bobby Moore, lifting the FA Cup, who's probably West Ham's greatest ever player. And the number 6 shirt has officially been retired. And obviously there you've got the press area, so that's where the players get interviewed. And as you can see, it's just a large room of West Ham legends and so on and so forth. So guys, I'm standing here in the West Ham changing room. And as you can see, it's not the biggest changing room, but it does the job. So obviously this change room is actually rented space. So essentially, once the season's over, the West Ham memorabilia and stuff comes down, and it goes back to being just a standard room, basically. As you walk around, you can see all the players the shirts, names, numbers, etc. And there's something really, really cool here as well that I want to show you also. You've got a poster here of Jarrod Bowen, who was the Hammer of the Year last season. I'm guessing whoever the Hammer of the Year for the previous season gets their poster there. But that's an annual award, and Bobby Moore has won it a record 5 times, I think it is. So as you can see, I'm guessing it goes by position. So you've got goalkeeper Fabianski, you've got Aaron Cresswell, you've got Kufal, Tobido, Areola. Here's some favourites: Lucas Paqueta, Brazilian, Luis Guilherme, Danny Ings, Jarrod Bowen, he's a West Ham legend, scored the winner in the Conference League final. And as you can see, the shirts go all the way down. Emerson, another Brazilian as well. You've obviously got the shower area there, so where they have their showers. Jacuzzi for the players to relax. And this room behind me, as you can see, is the dressing room for like concerts and stuff. So whenever there's concerts and so on, the dressing room is this one here. Now let's do the tunnel walk. Let's walk down the tunnel. Behind me, you've got the tunnel. Now, this tunnel, I was told, is the longest walk in the Premier League from the pitch to the dressing room. So the actual walk through the tunnel is the longest in the Premier League. That is a fact. So guys, as you can see, I'm standing here pitch side at the London Stadium. And the first thing that surprised me, which was the biggest shock, well, it wasn't a shock, but it took a bit of time to get used to, is that the gap from the dugouts to the technical area is massive. It's huge. Normally when you come out of a tunnel, whether at Chelsea, Arsenal or most clubs, it's quite a short distance. But here, it's an absolutely huge gap between the two. So just like the other stadiums that I've done, I'm sat in the dugout area, and it's pretty standard now to have these padded seats. So essentially you can see obviously the West Ham branding. I'm pretty sure obviously I'm sat here where obviously the subs are. And then behind you've got these standard seats here. So on the seats you can see exactly who they're for. So this one is for coaching and medical. West Ham's coaching and medical seats, as you can see there. And these have no names on them. So I'm guessing these are for, I don't know, players who aren't picked for the game, things like that. And then behind you obviously got the West Ham fans there to cheer on the team. Pretty much. I'm guessing this seat here is where the West Ham manager will sit. So currently the coach of West Ham is Lopetegui, so he'll sit here. His assistant will probably sit here. And obviously you have the subs going along and then going back as well. Then on this side you've got the visiting section. So these seats are for the broadcast reporting positions. And you can see there, I don't know if you can see, it says West Ham versus Brighton from yesterday's game. And then here, pretty much you've got the visiting dugouts. So same thing. Padded seats, and the visiting manager will obviously sit here pretty much. And here you've got a cool tribute to former co-owner David Gold, who was the co-owner from 2010 to 2023 and was beloved at this football club by many. But Gold, I was told, was a big West Ham fan. So I'm standing here in one of the flash interview rooms, and the London Stadium has 7 interview rooms for obviously before, during and after the game. As you can see, you've got all the sponsors here, and then in front of the players you'll have, I don't know, Sky Sports or the BBC, depending on who it is. The rooms aren't big, but there's 7 of these in the stadium. So guys, this dressing room here is the dressing room used when baseball was held here at the London Stadium. So this is the only stadium in the UK that actually can host baseball due to the constraints of the field. And this whole dressing room here pretty much is where players got dressed, and it was specifically tailored to the baseball players pretty much. So it's quite a cool dressing room. It is bigger than the West Ham dressing room, which I think is a little bit strange, but it's a big dressing room with a variety of shirts and so on and so forth. So for example, you've got the Los Angeles Dodgers there, you've got Colorado, you've got Arizona. Is that Arizona? Yes, it is. And then you've obviously got like caps and stuff. So you've got a cap there. What team is this? This team is the Reds. Is that the Boston Red Sox? I'm guessing so. And then here you've got the Pirates as well. So guys, here in the away dressing room, you've got a replica of West Ham classic shirts. So you've got Bobby Moore's shirt, 1966 final. You've got a 1975 FA Cup final, 1980 FA Cup final, match worn. So this one's really special, so I don't know if you can see it on the badge. It says West Ham United 1895 to 1995. So these kits are tributes to the 100th anniversary of the football club. As you move down, this shirt reminds me of one man, Paolo Di Canio, basically. And these are the kits that they had during the year that West Ham made the FA Cup final in 06, the Steven Gerrard final. You've got a shirt here from the last ever game at the Bowling Ground. That's it there. And then you've got the first ever Premier League game, which is this shirt, first goalkeeper. And this is the first goal scorer actually, Cheikh Konate. And then you've got the shirt of a legend, Mark Noble, and the Conference League final shirt as well. Here you've got a timeline of the club. So as you can see, Thames Ironworks, founded in 1837. Just like most football clubs, they're founded by the working class, as you can see. And as you go down throughout the years, you've got the legend himself, Bobby Moore, lifting the Cup Winners' Cup in 1965. You've got a bit about Bobby Moore there, and his wife, and then the tributes to him when he sadly passed away. The 1970s, the fluctuating fortunes in the 80s there, pretty much. You can see Billy Bonds there pretty much. And then you got a bit about match days at the bowling. So as you can see, Nathan's Pie and Eels, very, very popular shop on a match day. You've got the bowling pub, which I'll be going to later today as well. And you can see there a picture of the old bowling stadium, pretty much, an iconic ground. And then you can see West Ham in the more modern era. As you can see, West Ham ladies team. And then moving on, the end of the famous bowling ground, the farewell in 2016 with the last game against Manchester United. Now me personally, it makes me kind of sad because although I'm not a West Ham fan, I had the privilege of visiting Upton Park three times actually, for games. And I can tell you that it had one of the best atmospheres anywhere in the country on a match day. Incredible. So overall, how do I rate the tour? The tour wasn't bad actually. My tour guide, whose name is Graham, great guy. He's a passionate West Ham fan, so the tour wasn't bad. I do feel a little bit sad because West Ham don't own the stadium. And the stadium does come across sometimes as a little bit soulless from a West Ham perspective. But overall, I like how they've tried to keep the West Ham heritage going since they've moved to the stadium. So overall, not a very, very bad tour at all. And I would recommend it, to be honest. That is it, guys, for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I'm going to start doing stadiums up and down the UK, most likely. Let me know where I should go next. But in the meantime, thank you so much. I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.